Back at Skull, visitors reported seeing and especially hearing these objects materialise from out of nowhere. In the language of physical mediumship, these objects are called apports.
An apport is an object which is quite solid, which is brought from one location to another during an experimental session, but in so doing apparently passes through solid walls, doors, etc. Well, the total number of apports that we had during the experimental sessions was about 80 or even more. Whilst we were sitting here, this object would arrive, just materialise, and arrive on the table. But as it arrived, that's the sort of noise it would make.
Despite the fact that witnesses heard a loud bang every time an apport arrived, no matter how small, skeptics have dismissed this phenomenon as objects merely thrown into the air. But the appearance of these apports are not so easy to explain away. These newspapers arrived in pristine condition, despite having originated in the 1940s. But who might have sent it to the Skull Group, and why? The answer arrived, they say, when dead British medium Helen Duncan spoke to them via one of the mediums. During World War II, Duncan's life was ruined when she was arrested and imprisoned for practicing mediumship. As she described her ordeal to the group, this newspaper allegedly appeared out of nowhere. To their astonishment, displayed prominently on its front page was the story of Duncan's trial and conviction.
I think she suffered greatly through her mediumship, and she was really coming to wish us well, and she bought the newspaper as a sign of a very turbulent time in her life.
The scientists knew that an old newspaper could easily be copied and printed onto modern paper, so Montague Keane had the suspect newspaper analysed.
We took it to the leading research station in England, indeed in the world, on paper and printing, and it was absolutely clear from their report that first of all it was done on letterpress, which has gone out of existence virtually since the early 1970s, I would say. It was newsprint produced during wartime, which lacked certain chemicals which you couldn't get hold of. So this was a genuine article which appeared 50 years after the event, but no one has been able to explain how it got there.
So where did all these apported objects come from?
We were told by the spirit team that they were never stolen, but were basically objects that had been lost or discarded, or at one time been owned by the spirit personality that brought them for us.
Back in Italy, we were given unique access to film one of Bacci's private seances.
But Tim, now you have to sit somewhere and sit. Not in my back. Not in my back. Somewhere that you can, yes.
Despite the loss of this camera, we were allowed to continue using this night shot camera to record the seance, which took place in total darkness. As the seance progressed, the medium went into trance. We were hoping to capture what visitors to Skull said they had witnessed, the levitation of solid objects. However, minutes later, we were asked to switch off the night shot camera. But secretly, we kept it running. And what we captured was truly astonishing. This heavy oak table rose into the air. But levitations were not the only phenomena we witnessed during these seances. Like the Skull experiment, visitors to Bacci's centre say they have received apported objects. This woman is one of them.
Questo è un apporto che ho ricevuto al centro Bacci. Al centro Bacci succedono spesso queste cose ed è incredibile. Uno potrebbe dire uno le hanno messi là, se lo sono inventati, ma non è così, perché chi l'ha vissuto sa che questo è vero.
Once again, we were permitted to use night shot cameras in the hope of capturing the arrival of an apport. We were not disappointed. With the medium in trance, the camera crew were astonished when, out of nowhere, they felt these flowers falling on them. With the lights on, people reacted in amazement at just how many flowers had appeared.
This one is gone in his hand.
As they collected them, we continued our filming.
You see, that's been ripped. That's been ripped. See, it is fresh.
Although we saw no signs of trickery, this séance was not conducted under controlled conditions. Therefore, critics could claim it was possible for someone to have thrown the flowers into the room. But apports which have a specific connection to departed loved ones frequently appear at the centre. Connections that Baci has no previous knowledge of.
Sempre la prima sera mi è arrivato un apporto, una foglia di giada di questa grandezza, identica alla foglia che mio figlio aveva sulla tuta della foto che io ho portato quella sera per far conoscere mio figlio, ma che nessuno ancora aveva mai visto. Identica.
This woman said that a single red rose was apported into her hand. She was also convinced it came from her dead son, because every week, she told us, she placed an identical flower on his grave. As impossible as it sounds, could this rose really have been sent from the other side?
I'm not sure